Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto, or welcome to the channel if you're new, and welcome to this new video. On the markets today, we'll do a full update on, mainly Bitcoin again, but we'll talk about some altcoins as well. Yesterday, we talked about Solana quite extensively. And Solana did quite well, and some of its ecosystem as well. I personally took a trade on Jito yesterday afternoon, or yesterday evening, excuse me, that did quite well. And Solana right now, still very strong. So that's what we talked about yesterday. We'll talk about that again a little bit later in the video today. But right now, the main thing we have to talk about is Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin is trying to break out. There's quite a lot of leverage, as you can see down here, coming into the Bitcoin markets. Which make of that what you want, all right? Leverage in general is seen as something that's not too great. But if you look back at, for example, Friday the 11th, we also started this move with quite a lot of leverage, right? So it's not necessarily all bad. But we'll talk about the situation first, all right? Because right now, I think the main story in the markets is what stocks are doing, all right? So if you look at the stock market right now, yesterday and before that, we saw a bit of a sell-off in the S&P 500, for example, which is still going on. But one of the main reasons for that sell-off was, economic data coming from the US, but also earnings reports, right? So a lot of huge companies all across the world are publishing earnings reports, and so far those have been quite bullish, all right? So far, the pre-market for stocks was quite bullish, and now we're seeing a bit of a pullback. I see no reason why this should pull back further. So I actually expect more bullish momentum from that. We also saw MicroStrategy, so the company of Saylor, who's buying all that Bitcoin. That's up about 6%, I believe, since the start of the stock markets. So that's pushing up Bitcoin as well. But this is, I think, one of the main things pushing up Bitcoin. The dollar strength index also had a bit of a pullback. So the fundamentals today are quite favorable, I would say. The thing is, and this is the main thing we've talked about for the entirety of this week, is that the Bitcoin premium or discount is still very much active, right? So there's still a massive discount, indicating that there's quite a lot of selling pressure coming from Coinbase, and therefore coming from the US market and US retail and US institutions. And that still worries me, all right? The fundamentals right here are slightly more bullish, but they're also not parabolically bullish. So if we see a continued sell-off from the US, then that's still probably bad news. Even though it's not the worst, but it's definitely something to monitor. In terms of the price for Bitcoin and in terms of what I expect here, I will stick with my analysis that I've given you at the start of this week, but I've given you this morning as well. I just need to see some sort of a confirmed break, right? So all this fundamental talk, it's all great, of course, but in the end, I just need to see the price break above either 68,000 for real bullish confirmation, or below 66,500. Now, under the current circumstances, I will pay close attention to how the S&P 500 reacts to this to this gap. All right, so right now it's quite logical that the S&P is dipping to fill the gap. If we find support there, especially then, but in general under the current circumstances already, I would say it is most likely that we'll get the bullish breakout. Volume is not necessarily where I want it yet, but $34 billion in volume, together with new fresh leverage coming in after getting a nice liquidation spike right here, I would say the most likely direction here is a bullish continuation. I am mostly positioned for that, but it's not confirmed yet, and it's better to wait for that confirmation. Under the current circumstances, I would say it's most likely to get the bullish breakout, but wait for it, all right, if you want some more certainty. And something else you should know is that the Bitcoin dominance is still very bullish, all right? So you might think, oh, the markets are crazy bullish right now. A lot of altcoins actually don't look too great. Now, some altcoins do look good. And like I said, and this is what I've said yesterday as well, I think the Solana ecosystem still looks very, very good, with Solana leading, all right? And we've talked about this quite extensively as well, that Solana, after the breakout above 165, just technically and fundamentally looks very interesting, and there's no indication as of right now to go against that, right? So I would still say Solana, especially Solana on its own, but also its ecosystems such as Jito, Jupiter, Dog with Hat, Bonk a little bit, although the meme coins are not doing too great. I would still say that's one of the main focuses of today. And then you see some other coins, such as Rune. I do want to look at that real quick as well. So now we'll focus on altcoins. We've talked about the markets. I think Rune is very interesting as well. Like if we're able to get this breakout above the range, I think you should just buy Rune. And I'm personally waiting for the next 4-hour time frame close, but this looks to me like a great buy area and like a real breakout, especially under the current circumstances. So Rune is a coin I think you need to watch. Athena, even though I don't like Athena, if we're able to break this short-term downtrend, I think is a good buy as well. And then outside of that, look, those are the strongest performers. There's some other coins that I would say are strong as well. So then we're talking about something like Dogecoin. Celestia was also quite strong. Celestia also has major unlocks later this week, so I expect volatility on that either way. So those coins very much look like the best candidates to trade right now. But ideally, like I said before trading or buying those altcoins, we'd see Bitcoin dominance fall down and Bitcoin actually solidify that breakout. But yeah, it looks quite good right now. I'm still slightly cautious before we actually secure the breakout, but it looks good. So those are my thoughts. That's my final remark. If you do have any questions, let me know down in the comments, of course. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.